I beg, yeah, we would start. Yes, we will go ahead and start. Okay, welcome to the April 9th meeting of the Elkhart City Board of Zoning Appeals. And thank you all for signing in. I saw our line and it's great that you all signed in ahead of time. If you are joining by video, your microphone will be automatically muted and your video will not be on when you enter the meeting. Please make sure that you use both your first name and your last name. If you would like to speak, you must click on the raise hand action and wait to be called on in order to alert our IT attendant to unmute your speaker and turn on your video, which is necessary if you want to take part in the meeting. When you begin to speak, speak up and identify yourself before proceeding. When speaking, petitioner, public, and board members make sure your mic is on and speak into it. The purpose of this meeting is to review and consider all requests for relief from any standard in the zoning ordinance, including variances, use variances, special exceptions, conditional use requests, and administrative appeals. All of the cases heard tonight will have a positive, negative, or no decision made by the board. If no decision is made, the petition will be set for another hearing. If a decision is made that you disagree with, either as the petitioner or an interested party, you must file for an appeal of the board's decision no later than 30 days after the decision is made in an appropriate court. If you think you may potentially want to appeal a decision of this board, you must give this board a written appearance before the hearing. If you are here in person, a sign-in sheet is provided which will act as known appearance. You should sign the sheet if you want to speak, but also if you do not wish to speak but might wish to appeal our decision. A written petition that is set for hearing tonight satisfies that requirement for the petitioner. If you file your appeal later than 30 days after the decision of this board or give no written appearance tonight, you may not appeal the board's decision. Because the rules on appeal are statutory and specific on what you can do, the board highly suggests you seek legal advice. If you are the petitioner, in addition to filing an appeal, you may first file a motion for rehearing within 14 days of the board's decision. Tonight we have our minimum quorum until our other member arrives. While we cannot conduct business with 3 members, any votes must be, while we can conduct business with 3 members, any votes must be unanimous. Anything less than a unanimous vote will be considered no action and the case will be reset for next month. And the public comment, with respect to public comment portion of our meeting, public comments will only be taken on the specific petition being heard before the board. Unlike city council meetings where there is time for anyone to comment on any issue, we do not have that at the BZA, and comments will only be taken for or against the petition before the board. At this time, we'll take the roll call.
Lightman.
Here.
Lindley. Newbill.
Here.
Avandra Rickoff.
Here. Since there are only 3 of us, we will have to put off the election of the secretary until next month. At this time, then, we'd like a motion to approve the agendas for February 21st and March 12th.
I move to approve.
Second.
Roll call.
Sorry, you said agenda? Are we
I
doing
did. I'm
the
sorry.
minutes?
We're going to approve the agenda for tonight, April 9th.
Okay. I move to approve the agenda for this evening.
I'll second that again.
All
Roll-
right, Lightman,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Evangelista Rickoff,
Yes. Now then, we're going to approve the minutes for February 12th and February 21st and March 12th.
I move to approve February's minutes.
And second?
Lightman,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Evangelista Rickoff,
Yes.
And I move to approve March's minutes.
Second?
Lightman,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Evangelista Rickoff.
Yes. And approval of the proofs of publication.
I move to approve publication.
And second that motion?
Lightman,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Evangelista Rickoff.
Yes. All right. Now, all of that is taken care of. We can get down to business. BZA 26 BZA 06.
Good evening, Board. Kyle Anthony Petter, City of Elkhart Planning Department. The petitioner is River District Development LLC. The site location is 302 East Jackson Boulevard. The request is to vary from section 26.10.d.5 projecting signs that no sign is suspended more than 35 feet above the ground, to allow for a projecting sign to be 38 feet above the ground, a variance of 3 feet. To also vary from section 26.10D, table 1, projecting signs in the CBD that limits the size to 9 square feet, to allow for a projecting sign that is 35 square feet, a variance of 26 square feet.
Okay. Can the petitioner come forward and tell us what you'd like to have happen?
Todd Lehman, Sign Tech Sign Services, 1508 Basher Road in Goshen. And we are working with DJ Construction, the River District Development, the architect, as well as the designer on the project. And their goal is to identify the building with a sign that's mounted vertically on the corner of the building that would be visible from multi directions. And it's the height of it is it's because of this as being part of the structure. It's actually going to have internal components that protrude out of the building that the sign would then mount to. So the height of it is being determined by the placement of the sign on the building, where the structure is able to handle the sign. So that's the height from grade to the sign. And then the square footage is just something that they saw other examples of other buildings around the country, and they really liked the way they looked. So this is a color coordinated sign background with dimensional lettering. It's not lit, it's just a dimensional lettering on the face of the sign.
Okay. Questions for the petitioner? Well,
Oh,
No
the
question.
other thing is, I guess I probably need to mention the fact that the building is built on the property line. So the sign actually sits in the right of way. And it was our understanding that that would be, if there's any issues, that will be discussed in further discussion, I guess.
okay. All right.
And there's no way to move it up, so the walkway can go under?
Well, okay, this is way off the ground.
Okay, sorry, you
Hey.
confused me when you said that.
No,
Walkway,
the
Okay, okay.
building is set on the
Got
property.
it. I was
line.
like, wait a second,
Yeah.
I'm looking at this and, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. Any questions? No? Okay. Thank you. I'll open the public meeting. Anyone would like to speak for the motion? Against? Okay, let's go to the staff.
The petitioner is requesting to vary from section 26.10. D.5 projecting signs that no sign is suspended more than 35 feet above the ground to allow for a projecting sign to be 38 feet above the ground, a variance of 3 feet, and to also vary from section 26.10.d, table 1, projecting signs in the CBD that limits the size to 9 square feet to allow for a projecting sign that is 35 square feet, a variance of 26 square feet. The petitioner is requesting a developmental variance to allow for a sign that is 38 feet above the ground, where 35 is the maximum. The required sign will serve to identify the building within the river district from a distance. The petitioners are making efforts to respect the character of the commercial corridor while trying to promote the building. The request is not out of scale for the building. Due to the location downtown at the intersection of 2 thoroughfares, Jackson and North Clark, this site does not permit other forms of signage as ground or plinth signs are explicitly prohibited. Projecting signs are typical within the central business district and would not feel out of place or out of character. The height of the building at 4 stories tall reduces the visual impact of a taller projecting sign than typically found within the central business district. A permit for the sign was submitted on January 23rd, 2026, with staff letting the applicant know that the sign did not meet the developmental standards for projection signs on February 4th, 2024. The applicant then filed with the board on February 18th, 2026.
Kyle, I'm going to ask you to pause just a moment. I just want to state on the record that Ann Lindley did arrive at 6:15. Thank you.
Staff recommends approval of the variance. Staff recommends approval of the developmental variance to vary from based off of the following findings of fact. Number 1, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community, as projecting signs of this size are not out of character and are typically found in the central business district. Number 2, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because the size of the proposed sign is not out of character for the central business district, as a projecting sign is one of the primary forms of advertisement in the district. Number 3, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a measure of relief is allowed when warranted. Number 4, special conditions and circumstances do exist which are particular to the land involved, as the building facade of which the sign will be located is located in a part of downtown with a higher level of signage standards that limit traditional wall signage. Number 5, the strict applications of the term of this ordinance will result in practical difficulty in the use of the property by depriving the petitioner the ability to brand the development/building. Number 6, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from any action or inaction by the applicant because the current building is existing and the signable area on the building will not change as a result of this request. And number 7, this property does lie within a designated flood hazard area. However, the building was constructed to meet all applicable development standards and requirements. There was 6 letters mailed, 0 mailed responses, and 1 telephone call received. More or less, they were asking on a little bit more information.
All right. Thank you. Any questions for staff? No? Okay. Then at this point, I think we're looking for a motion.
I move to approve 26 BZA 06 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation together with the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of fact in the present petition. And there are no conditions.
Second.
Roll call?
Lightman,
Yes.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Von Jerikoff.
Yes. All right. Go build your sign. All right. Our next order of business, 26 UV 07.
The petitioner is Next Inc. Realty LLC. The site location is vacant land on the 2000 block of South Main. The request is to vary from section 19.2 permitted uses in the M2 General Manufacturing District to allow for auto sales.
All right. Could we have the petitioner come up and tell us what you'd like to do?
I'm Nathan Flickner, Whiteman, representing Next Inc. Realty.
Could you
LLC.
speak up a little bit, please?
Sorry about that. Nathan Flickner with Whiteman, representing Next Inc. LLC. Looking to get this permitted use changed to allow auto sales on the lot. Right now, it's a vacant lot. It's already got a concrete pad on there, pretty much ready to go. It's just growing weeds and it's pretty unsightly across from some residential now. Down the street on that side, the railroad is more uses that are commercial, and like O'Reilly's Auto Parts was just built next door. I believe the city of Elkhart or the redevelopment commission owns the property adjacent to us, which they are planning on developing also. We're just kind of continuing to maybe add some more commercial businesses on the street because the manufacturers are hard to find to fill those spots.
Well, I drove by their questions. I drove by there today and it does look unsightly. When you make me a little nervous when you say that it's ready to build on, that cement looks kind of like it's a mess.
Yes, it would be covered with something different.
Okay, get rid of the weeds.
Yes.
Okay, all right, very good. Any other questions? No?
Nope, no other question.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thank you. At this time,
Sorry, one quick question. Are you aware of all the conditions that are listed from the
oh,
city?
yes, good question.
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Okay, very good. At this time, is there anyone who would like to speak for? Anyone who'd like to speak against? All right, then I'd like to call up the staff.
The petitioner is requesting a use variance to allow the vacant property in the 2000 block of South Main to be used for auto sales. Section 19.2 permitted uses in the M2 General Manufacturing District does not permit auto sales. The petitioner would like to use the site for used auto sales. The land had previously been used for manufacturing. The petitioner submitted a site plan for the hearing depicting striped area for display, customer parking, and employee parking. The plan also shows a modular sales office on the far east side of the lot adjoining to the railroad tracks. The M2 zoning for this site is a legacy zoning classification. where area was used for more intense uses because of its adjournment to the railroad. Between Lusher and Indiana, there are only 2 parcels remaining that have the industrial zoning classification, largely because the parcels are shallow and do not support the necessary truck movement required by modern industrial uses. Industrial users are challenging to find. This section of South Main is largely zoned either B1, B2, or B3 with R4 or R5 closer to Indiana, where the residential uses are more concentrated. The request for a commercial use is in keeping with the overall land use pattern for the area of Maine. The commercial zoning along Main acts as a developmental buffer between the residentially zoned properties to the west and the more intense uses along this section of Main, which also backs up to the railroad. Staff appreciates the petitioner's desire to put the property back in use, but has concerns related to the aesthetics and maintenance/upkeep of the property. The city has invested a great deal in new infrastructure and public road improvements in the entire South Main corridor to improve the gateway into downtown. Additionally, the Redevelopment Commission owns the adjoining lot to the north. Redevelopment staff are in the process of defining the redevelopment vision for their 2.3 acre site and have rezoned the property to R4 for multifamily residential use. As a result, staff will be asking for conditions that require higher levels of screening and enhancement, landscaping, and conditions of vehicles offered for sale. The intent is to prevent a sales lot where the cars do not run or are disabled after an accident and do not move from the site, therefore becoming a junkyard for cars that have no home. Because of the location and the desire to maintain a high development standard for the corridor, staff are willing to recommend a 2-year conditional approval. At the end of the 2-year period, this request will come back to the board for a review of the site and overall conditions of the use. At this time, the board can grant the petitioner an additional. At that point, the board can then provide the petitioner an additional 2 years and amend the original approval or revoke the use variance for failing to meet the conditions placed on the site. South Main Street is a main thoroughfare directing traffic downtown to the business district. And because of this, staff would like to have the petitioner look and incorporate necessary setbacks, landscape plantings, and buffering for residentially zoned properties to the north. Requesting the petitioner to file a revised site plan for technical review will ensure that basic aesthetic elements and all development requirements are incorporated into the site for the new use. Staff recommends approval of the use variance based off of the following findings of fact. Number 1, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, or general welfare of the community because the property will be used for the display of autos with the grounds meeting the proper buffering requirements. Number 2, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because this use as an auto sales lot, all cars will be in proper running condition with the site developed to meet all required landscape buffering. Number 3, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a small measure of relief when uniquely warranted. Number 4, special conditions and circumstances do exist which are particular to the land involved and which are not applied to other land or structures in the same district because without board action, auto sales would not be permitted on this site. Number 5, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance would result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because establishing a permitted M use would be challenging given the depth of the property and the need for most modern industrial users to have more area to navigate truck traffic for docks and deliveries. Number 6, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from an action or inaction by the applicant because the zoning classification has been in place for decades and no auto sales have been established. And number 7, this property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. Conditions. If the board chooses to approve the requested use variance, staff recommends that the following conditions be placed upon the approval. Number 1, project shall be submitted for review and approval by the Technical Review Committee. This is to ensure compliance with public works requirements and development standards for the planning department, as if it was a new development. Number 2, any new proposed structure must be connected to city utilities and services. Number 3, trash, dumpsters, and receptors must be properly screened as per section 26.2.c.6. Number 4, of specific concern, compliance with the aesthetic components of the project related to setbacks, buffering, and landscaping. A, the landscape buffer to the north adjoining the residentially zoned property must be a minimum of 21 feet with a solid fence to screen from residential use. Plantings to meet the standards found in section 13.5 and 13.4. B, the right-of-way Main Street, the buffer landscape strip shall meet the minimum requirements of 20 feet. Planted with street trees and an understory planting to soften and buffer the public frontage along Main Street. If the petitioner would choose to install a 4-foot aluminum wrought iron style fence, staff would permit a reduction of the front setback to 10 feet. Number 5, any new signage must comply with the current B3 Service Business District standards. Number 6, all cars offered for sale must be in running condition and must be operable and street legal. Number 7, no mechanical work of any kind shall be permitted on site. This lot is for display only. Number 8, the approval only applies to the current owner. Should the business close or cease operation for any reason, the approval is null and void. Number 9, if the business or land is sold, the new owner must refile with the Board of Zoning Appeals to acknowledge compliance with the conditions of approval. And number 10, The approval is for a term of 2 years and must be reheard as a staff item in April 2028. There was 30 letters mailed out and 0 responses.
Okay. Any questions to staff?
No, I don't have.
No questions.
So you worked with the petitioner on these conditions, and they understand that if they do not comply with these, in 2 years, you could be gone. All right. These are important. Okay. Okay. Okay, good, good. Yes, I think that it's important that this looks nice. I'm not a huge fan of used car dealerships, and if you make it look great, that will soften my heart. Okay, if there are no questions, then could we have a motion?
Yeah. I move to approve 26-UV-07 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation together with the staff's finding of facts as the board of finding of facts in the petition and adopt the following conditions.
Okay, you're not going to adopt the following conditions. How do we describe that? And adopt all conditions in the staff report.
In the staff report,
Yeah.
yes.
Perfect. Okay,
Okay, I second.
roll call?
Lightman,
Yes.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Evangelista Rickoff,
Yes. Okay. All right. Petition 26X01.
Okay. The petitioner is City of Elkhart, Board of Public Works, and Ermine Meadows, Inc. The site location is 626 West Cleveland Avenue. The request is per section 5.3, special exception uses 4.30 parks and playgrounds to allow for the establishment and the expansion of a new park and playground. And this comes from the Plan Commission with the due pass.
Okay. All right. Can I have the petitioner come forward? Okay, can you tell us what you all would like to do?
Good evening, board members. My name is Matthew Moyers. My office is at 229 South 2nd Street, right down the stairs here, City Hall. The superintendent's not able to be here, but I'll be able to answer any questions you have. The site that we're talking about is the current location of Ullery Park, but there's an opportunity that hasn't been available to the city for a few decades. The other half of that block was the site of the Ullery School. It's a vacant lot now that the Parks and Recreation and Buildings and Grounds ends. But in some conversation with the neighborhood and conversation with the owners, there's an opportunity to expand that park and offer new features. And that's what we're asking for, is the opportunity to go ahead and add an open pavilion for family gatherings, a splash pad in the southeast corner. We intend to do some trail systems through the park, add a small pull-in parking area for handicap spaces on that park on the backside, and then increase the tree cover and then do some landscaping. That's the vision that we have for the park. We've started our surveying work. We've got strong community support, and a large portion of this is coming to us from private donation, as well as not-for-profit and foundation support. So we already have the splash pad paid for, we already have the pavilion paid for, and streets is going to help us with the pathways. So this is a great opportunity for a minimal investment for the city, for a tremendous return for that neighborhood.
Okay, questions?
Yes, I have several questions. The first one is, I drive through that area quite often. I live about maybe 6-7 blocks from there. Now, at the park, if I remember correctly, the alley is not paved.
That's correct.
And you're gonna put parking there, is that gonna be paved and the parking area paved?
This is not going to be a park and rec operation, but that question was asked at another meeting that I was at. And my understanding is that the street department does intend to pave that alley as part of this process.
Okay, and on Cleveland, in front of the park, there's like 120 potholes.
Yeah.
They need to bring that also. I mean, it's just bad.
Right. I will certainly go ahead and include that in the conversations. We anticipate that traffic and use on Cleveland will increase, especially because that's the side that people are likely to go ahead and drop off kids for the splash pad. So I'll go ahead and see if I can make a mention of that as well.
Okay, and it was also mentioned too about the circulation of the water that is going to be utilized.
Yeah.
Is that going to be the filtration system that is going to be reusing that water or something?
Yeah. There are two types of splash pads. The first that you're speaking about is a closed system. And a closed system beneath the splash pad, there's a large tank that we do chemical monitoring, same as any other type of pool. This one's going to be using an open system, which means that the water comes in through the city water pipes and then flushes back out into the return system for the sewers. Surprisingly, that's more economical. And the other benefit that we have is the splash pad is not classified as a pool, which means that we don't have to do the chemical tests. We don't have to shut it down if we suspect that the kids dropped a hot dog or something into the drain. So I think that's the reason that we're selecting the open end model.
Very good. So how far is the building from that splash park?
I'm not sure what building you're talking about.
I think, what do they call them? Where you can sit at?
Oh, the open air shelter house, the pavilion.
Yes.
Yeah, as you look at the entire block of the park,
Here's a footprint.
Yeah.
the conceptual
Yeah, I
design.
see it now. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that building was at first.
There'll be, I think that's right now targeted to 40 feet by approximately 25, and then we'll have some concrete skirting around that to allow for additional use. That pavilion was in response to requests from the neighbors. They asked for specifically places for families, for social gatherings.
Right. I see now. Yeah, I seen the two circles. I didn't know which one of those at first was the splash park. Okay, very good. Looks nice.
I'm very enthused about this project.
It looks beautiful, and I was by there today, and I guess my only question is, could you explain the Ermine Meadows part of that, of what you're doing, and is that going to transfer to the city?
Yeah, I can give you my best understanding. Ermine Meadows was the organization, a not-for-profit, that preserved the land where Ullery School used to be located. That's the half of the park that's untended. The plan is, if we come up with a design that they approve of, it meets the community need, we include some memorial elements for Ullery School. They're willing to transfer that land to the city and make it a unified park for the entire design. That's what we're working toward. I can't speak to whether that transfer has happened, but both parties have approved that transfer after the work is complete.
Wait, after the work is complete?
I believe that's correct.
Oh,
I'd feel more comfortable if it had happened before.
do we, yeah.
Yeah, my understanding is right now
Can you speak more on the
yeah,
microphone?
my understanding is that right now the Park Foundation is a holder of the title, and they'll transfer that to the city after. That's my understanding.
Oh, so the park currently has the land in there.
That's correct. The foundation. Yeah.
Okay, so it has been transferred to the parks, and then the parks will transfer all of the land to the city.
That's correct.
Okay, well,
Do we have confirmation on that? Anybody? Maybe we just throw that in the conditions just
I
to-
think that'd be a good thing to throw in.
if you're okay with that.
I think that's entirely reasonable.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
And then I just have another question. Are you done
No,
with that? Sorry.
I'm done.
Okay. not that this is important at this point, but was gray water ever considered for all of that extra water runoff, just using it to water the actual
Right.
vegetation?
There are some issues we have to explore after we get approval.
Oh, okay.
We are adding a significant amount of non-porous surface, the concrete for the splash pad and the pavilion. We haven't done a stormwater survey yet to see how we'll adjust to that. I think that with the addition of the landscaping features and the increase of the trees, we should be close to a break even, but we haven't done that study yet.
Okay.
Good.
Just more for a more sustainable and not wasting, although we have a ton of, just throwing that out there.
Right.
Okay. That's all of my.
Any other questions?
I had two questions. In looking at the concept 3 that was provided and noting the responses to the questionnaires, we have lighting proposed around the exterior of the park. I'm not seeing anything on the design for lighting on the interior of the park.
Right. And I'm not sure if we have a complete lighting plan laid out yet.
Okay.
The desire for the neighborhood was not to have the park brightly lit in late hours.
Okay.
The only lighting element that I'm certain that we've committed to is inside the shelter, along the roof line inside, for lighting there. We have not committed further than that.
So the intent is that timing on the use of the park would be kind of a dawn to dusk or slightly thereafter.
The expectation is it'll follow the same timing cycle that all the parks.
All the other parks do? Okay. And then the other question, and again, it's probably in the same category, given I happen to notice where the portable restroom was suggested versus where the splash pad was. And I'm thinking you might want to look at that as an other options.
There's a reason that we're suggesting having the temporary porta potty in that location. And the reason is if fundraising goes well, it doesn't have to be a portable building. So if we have it spaced out and we have the electrical lines laid down, it gives us an opportunity to do a more permanent compensation.
More permanent? Okay.
Okay.
I was just thinking little people, bathing suits and no.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff?
The request is per section 5.3 special exception use 4.30 park and playgrounds to allow for the establishment and expansion of a new park and playground at 626 West Cleveland Avenue. The request is considered an expansion of the park and therefore a new petition request is required. The city of Elkhart and Ermine Meadows are submitting a joint special exception request to expand the existing Allery Park into land owned by Ermine Meadows organization. The reimagined park master plan has an emphasis on activating the space and community vision for the amenities at the park. Based on information provided by the City of Elkhart Parks Superintendent Jameson Sarnecki, the master plan and vision for the park came from a series of neighborhood meetings, feedback collected in door-to-door surveys, and additional outreach conducted in both English and Spanish. The new master plan elements call for an open-air pavilion, off-street parking, additional landscaping, a new walking path, and splash pad. Staff recommends approval of the request based on the following findings of fact. Number 1, the special exception is so defined, located, and proposed to be operated that the public health, safety, and welfare will be protected. Ollery Park improvements are being designed to add amenities to make this park a premier park for the city of Elkhart. The improvements to the playground, parking, additional landscaping, plantings, and splash pad will allow for future growth and attendance to increase usage. Number 2, the special exception will not reduce the value of other properties in its immediate vicinity because the additional amenities proposed will add to the quality of place for Ollery Park and enhance the city's park system. The park is part of the mayor's Aspire initiative to enhance the vibrancy and increase usage of the city's parks and green space. Number 3, the special exception shall conform to the regulations of the zoning district in which it is to be located. Because it will not generate adverse effects on adjoining properties in the form of noise, smoke, or odor. The proposed amenities will add to the vibrancy of the neighborhood and allow for more programming for the Parks Department. The open air pavilion will be built to conform to all necessary building construction requirements and to be submitted for technical review and address all comments raised during the review. Conditions. If the board approves the request, the special exception, staff recommends the following condition to be placed upon the approval. The petitioner shall submit for technical review to ensure all development requirements have been met. There was 52 letters mailed out, 1 received in favor with no comments.
Okay.
Good.
Any questions for staff?
No, do we need to add in that condition about the land
We do when you make the motion.
when we make the motion, not now? Okay.
Correct.
Yep. Okay, if there are no questions,
Is there a way that we should word that so it's correct in the conditions?
so did you take any
To
notes on
clarify,
what we were talking about?
right now, it's my understanding that the land is being held by the Parks Department.
That I think that we should probably say what is it? The
Meadows
the
organization?
the Ermine Meadows land is
Legal, do you have any advice on that?
yeah. So what we're trying to say, Kevin, is that we want to make sure that we'll give our approval under the condition that the Ermine Meadows portion of the land is being legally held by the Parks Department.
So basically, Kevin Davis, City Legal. So basically, you want at the time the completion of the project that the title
No, I think before
or the interest.
be.
I mean,
like,
that's a good point though. When does it start? When are we saying that
Yeah.
this is when they should hold the deed?
I thought that he said that they have it currently.
It-
The Park Foundation has the deed. That's my understanding. I can't say that.
So if we say that the Park Foundation has the deed,
That
Well, you could-
it
you can
is
make the-
correct.
You can make the approval subject to verification.
Okay,
that the
thank
Park
you.
Foundation has the deed, and if it doesn't, then the property must be transferred into the Park Foundation by a certain date, whatever makes
Okay,
the board comfortable.
all right, that sounds good. So,
just because it is community foundation and taxpayer Is it tax-paying money or just community foundation donations?
Well, eventually the upkeep will be the
The
city.
city, okay.
The funds to do this have been private.
Yes, probably all private.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. Okay,
I think you're still going,
Read it
do we
into-
still need to read something into,
at the end. Okay, I'll do it at the end.
okay. Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, you got it.
Okay.
Motion.
Oh, is that where we're at? Sorry.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
Okay. I move to approve 26X01 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation together with the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of fact in the present petition. And to adopt the staff's condition, number 1, and I would also like to add in number 2 that there's a verification of the Parks and Recs Department having the deed held.
Having the deed held.
Is that good? Is that
And if not, then we need the deed held by, what do we want, 2 months?
I would hate to put a date on it just because I don't know what they have going on, but I would say before the project can move forward, there's some
Project's already
clarification.
Move forward.
Okay.
So that's why I'm thinking,
Can we just leave it open-ended to clarify where the deed is being held? Sorry, Kevin.
The only thing is that you're looking for for the property to transfer title at some point in time, so you want a deadline on it. You don't want to leave it hanging out there. Because if not, you're going to have to come back and revisit it just to make sure that the transfer has actually happened.
Okay. Do we have a date that that park is to be completed?
It's this year, I believe.
I can
Yes, please.
Every park, oh, pardon me. Every park has some flexibility, but the target is to have the splash pad and the pavilion ready to go by August of this year. That may get pushed back as things happen, but that's our target.
Okay. So how about June 1st?
August. I was going to say, how about July?
July 1st.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me reread the condition.
Yes.
Okay. So in addition to the first condition that the staff placed, we would like to add on number 2, that verification of the Parks and Recs having the deed by July 1st.
No, we're going to want them to verify it right now. And if they do not have the deed, it needs to be in
Transferred.
it needs to be transferred by July 1st.
Okay. Can we have that on record?
Is that clear? Is that clear enough? Raina, have you got it?
Yeah. Clear enough?
Okay, all right. Do we have a second?
Okay, I think if you're done.
I think we've got it. We have a second?
We have a second.
Okay, great. Roll call.
Lightman,
Yes.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes, yes.
Devon Rickoff.
Yes. All right. Go
Thank you.
build your beautiful
It's really
park.
just,
Thank you. Is it all right if we provide the verification to the planning department or the permitting department?
Yes.
yes.
Thank
that'd
you
be
very
great.
much.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you very
you.
much.
Okay. Next petition, 26 BZA 07.
The petitioner is Diocese Fort Wayne South Bend / St. Vincent de Paul Catholic Church. The site location is 1128 South Main. The request is to vary from section 26.4.A.8 fence requirements, which states in part, fence materials shall include treated wood, painted wood, treated split rail, ornamental, wrought iron, brick, stone, masonry block, decorative, painted, or vinyl coated aluminum or other materials as approved by the Planning and Zoning Office. Scrap lumber, plywood, sheet metal, plastic, or fiberglass sheets are specifically prohibited to allow for a plastic fabric to cover an existing fence to remain.
Okay. I call the petitioner up at this time.
Good evening, board. My name is Father Craig Borchardt. I'm the pastor of St. Vincent's here in Elkhart. I'm asking the board to approve a variance tonight to allow us to keep a fabric screen that we have installed on our school playground fence. The primary reason for this screen is for safety and security. Before the installation of the screen, we had some issues with strangers approaching children off of the street to try to have conversations with them. Even since the installation of the screen, we had one incident of a person still trying to communicate to children through the screen. Furthermore, there's been several shootings and violent crime in that area. There was the shooting on February of 2021 at the gas station just south of us. And really close to that, there was another incident that took place at a home across the street from our playground. Our kindergartners were on the playground at the time when the police arrived. It was a very kind of, scary scene for the children. So again, for safety and security and privacy, we did install that fabric screen just to provide some form of a barrier for our children. And we believe that it does not negatively impact any of the surrounding area because it strengthens our school and the security and our property. So thank you for the consideration of this variance.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions for, any questions for the petitioner?
Yes. Are you considering maybe in the future a wood or something a little bit more stronger, more privacy or anything just in the future? Or would you prefer just to leave it like this indefinitely?
We could potentially be open to that in the future. It's currently a regular aluminum fence with that fabric cover on it.
Just wondered, like safety wise, if that would help at all. Just
Down the road, it could. Yes, we have dreams of hopefully someday moving the playground off of the street, but that's further down the road.
I think that the covering actually looks as nice as it can look. I don't have a lot of problem with the way that it looks. I understand why we have that written into the rules, but I think that you've made it look as nice as it can look.
I agree, but I was just thinking like in a few years
In
after
the
the weather,
future,
the
if they
wind,
have the
everything
money.
else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
And plus, that's on a corner too, I think, right?
Yeah, it's on the
Mhm.
corner.
so I just wondered.
Yeah. Thank you. Anyone to speak for the petition? Yes. Anyone to speak against the petition? Okay, staff?
The petitioner is seeking to vary from section 26.4.A.8 fence requirements, which states in part, fence materials may include treated wood, painted wood, treated split rail, ornamental, wrought iron, brick, stone, masonry block, decorative, painted or vinyl coated aluminum, or other materials as approved by the Planning and Zoning Office. Scrap lumber, plywood, sheet metal, plastic, or fiberglass sheets are specifically prohibited to allow for a plastic fabric to cover an existing fence to remain. Staff cited the property for a zoning violation for the installation of a fabric screening material on a plastic-coated chain link fence. The screening material is not included on the allowed material list included in the zoning ordinance, which makes the placement of this screen prohibited by zoning ordinance. The school was cited on January 29th, 2026. In discussion with a school representative, the fabric was placed on the fence to prevent people passing on the public sidewalk from talking to or interacting with the children outside playing on the playground. Plus, a gun-related incident in close proximity to the campus played an additional part in the decision to place the fabric. The school's position is that safety of the students is paramount, and that this material was necessary. Staff recommends approval of the proposed variance. Staff views the circumstance at the school as a unique situation. The school has a legally placed fence, and now outside circumstances have changed and requires a small accommodation for this particular site. The City of Elkhart is in the process of updating its zoning ordinance, including the fence requirements. The updated UDO will permit fence wraps, like the one referred to in this case. However, the updated ordinance will only permit them around construction sites. Staff feels that this requirement is correct and appropriate, as most construction sites require temporary screening for security and to prevent people from seeing into active construction sites. Also, to discourage attracting nuisances when people may want to and cause damage or harm themselves, and other circumstances and locations a appropriate opaque fence can be installed to provide privacy for most circumstances. Staff recommends approval of the developmental variance based on the following findings of fact. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because the fence fabric was placed in an additional means of safety for the children on the playground. Number 2, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because the fabric placed on the fence has a similar effect as that of a solid fence, which is a common element around outdoor recreational areas that require additional security. Number 3, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a measure of relief is allowed when warranted in order to provide the necessary security for the use. Number 4, special conditions and circumstances do exist as the subject property is located on a main thoroughfare with large numbers of pedestrian traffic. Number 5, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will not result in practical difficulty in the use of the property, as any number of solutions is possible. Number 6, these special conditions and circumstances do result from an action or inaction by the applicant. However, the security for the playground for the circumstance is paramount. And number 7, this property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. There was 24 letters mailed out and no responses.
Okay.
Any questions to staff?
Yes. Do you guys check on the, like after a few years go by and the wear and tear on a material like this? Is that something that you guys watch for upkeep, or is that a condition we need to put on?
So we have Jason Ugetti, who deals with the zoning, kind of the zoning side of going around and checking when individuals aren't in compliance. So this,
But since this
but
is
you
a
could put,
temporary,
I think-
usually it's only temporary uses,
I think we need to put something in about this that,
just the upkeep. And I'm sure too, it won't be a problem because of safety. I'm just,
Mhm.
I'm concerned for all angles, safety, upkeep. It's right downtown, you know, stuff like that.
it
So
looks really nice right now, but in 2 years it might not.
since it's usually a temporary type of thing, I don't know how well it will weather. So
So I'm thinking that we make this expire in 2 years and have them come back.
as like a staff approval.
Kevin, I'm sorry. We never ask for legal advice here. Now we're making you get up and down all the time. So we're wondering what would be the best way to do this. I'm wondering if we have this approval expire in 2 years and have them come back to get it renewed, or if there's,
just keeping up and
Well,
if we have staff
To play,
on it.
to play devil's advocate, the city will check on the property because it's in the downtown area. And as Kyle said, that Jason Ugetti is out and about in the area. And also the school has a vested interest to make sure that the material is sound because it's designed to protect the children that are on the playground. So if it starts to weather, they have a vested interest in making sure that that material is repaired or replaced. So
So you think there's limited risk?
there's
that it-
limited risk.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. All right, then we won't worry about it.
Thank you.
And also in the letter that was sent by the Diocese of Fort Wayne, they are saying that this temporary wrap has been in place since May of 2022, and we only caught it in 2026.
Right,
So,
right.
well,
Right.
how, I mean, has it weathered okay
It's okay.
and stuff?
Mhm.
That's it? Okay.
The color is weathered incredibly well. I mean, it's still very dark and vibrant, so that's good.
Okay.
All right. No further questions?
Mm-mm.
All right, let's go for a motion.
Okay. I move to approve 26-BZA-07 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentations together with the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of facts in the present petition.
I second.
Roll call?
Lightman,
Yes.
Lindley,
yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Von Jerikoff.
Yes. All right, you're all set, Father.
Thank you.
Okay, we're looking now at petition 26 UV08.
The petitioner is K&J Property LLC. The site location is 2101 West Franklin Street. The request is to vary from section 19.2 permitted uses in the M2 General Manufacturing District to allow for the construction of a drive-through coffee shop. Drive-through coffee shops are not permitted uses in the M2 district.
Okay,
Okay.
would you like to come up and let us know what you'd like to do?
Jeff Campbell from K&J Property. We have a building already on the property, or it's a warehouse, pretty much unmanned. Limited use on that, and there's room on the property for the coffee shop. So we'd like to get the variance changed to allow the coffee shop. It's going to be a Big B franchise.
Okay,
And will you own the land and the coffee shop, or?
Yes, I own partial owner of the coffee shop, and my son will own the other half, basically.
The coffee shop's a
Family family.
franchise, right?
Made franchise.
Yes. it's
Okay,
franchise.
so they'll be making sure that it looks nice
Yeah,
and,
I got some updated pictures from the architect on the proposed building and possibly the drive as well with me now if anybody wants to see the
Okay.
pictures.
If you would hand it to Rain and then she
Okay.
give it over to us.
Yeah, they have good coffee.
so you own the whole thing and you own the structure that's already on there. And it looks like there's a lot of land in between the two structures.
Yeah, it's an 1.5 acre lot. We have a 32 by 45 warehouse office that we receive trucks in about every 6 weeks on load. And then that's for the business I currently own.
Thank
And
you.
then the
Well,
additional business will be the coffee shop.
no offense, but
Thank you.
all of that land in between where the coffee shop's going and where the where your place is, it's kind of it's not very pretty,
It's gravel. It was there when we bought the property.
right?
We had intentions of putting grass in there and trees. That will
Okay,
be fixed up at the same time the building's put in. That will
so
be a requirement for Big B as well.
Mm.
Um,
yeah,
and we
okay.
talked about the site location. There will be lots of
Okay.
improvements.
I think that will be important.
Yeah,
It,
agree.
it just doesn't look that great right now. And I understand why you didn't want to put any money into that.
Right, it was just a warehouse.
There was
And
no,
it's-
yeah, there was
it
no
is,
reason, but
that's the
now
only-
it's going to be a retail establishment. And you need to kind of bring it up.
It'll
to
look
a
good.
different standard.
Yeah.
Good, I'm glad we're on the same wavelength.
We're thinking right.
That'll look good.
That's good. Any other questions? Any other questions?
No question.
I don't think so.
No? Okay. All right. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
At this time, I'd ask for anyone for the petitioner to speak. Anyone against?
Good evening. My name is Bill Zimmerman, and I am the current owner of Elkhart Cremation Services, which sits directly across the street, excuse me, from the proposed property.
Is it across the side street?
No, Elkhart Cremation Services sits directly across from 2101, which they own.
Right.
The address of Elkhart Cremation is 2100. I also own the parking lot next to the crematory, which is 2110. And I own the gray building next to the parking lot, which is 2120. So I have 3 properties that are right across the street from this location. Okay. Being a crematorium, we get a lot of people in and out of the building. Most of the people that come in and out of the building are elderly and have trouble driving, may be seen. West Franklin Street is a main thoroughfare, as everybody probably knows, coming out of the city of Elkhart and going west into St. Joe County and vice versa. So there's a lot of traffic on Franklin Street. Also into the mix is a Dollar General, which is across the street and up. That went in there. Then comes a gas station, and all that has done is increase the traffic flow on Franklin Street, and it is horrible. I can speak about traffic flow because I also own and operate Wally Mills Zimmerman Funeral Home that sits on the corner of Jackson and Johnson Street. And the traffic is horrible. It is horrendous. It is sickening almost. In front of the funeral home faces south. It's East Jackson Boulevard, right at the corner of Johnson and Prairie Street. In front of the funeral home are 5 lanes of traffic. Can you imagine trying to get in and out of the building? Fight 5 lanes of traffic. To the west and to the north runs Johnson Street. That is 4 lanes of traffic going north and south. And when it comes south, it becomes 5 lanes with turn lanes. Depending on the time of day, you can't get in, you can't get out. And it is basically, the traffic count has basically trashed the business at the funeral home. Wally Mill Zimmerman was opened in Elkhart in 1869. It was established before the city of Elkhart was even a city. That's how long we've been a customer, taxpayer, if you will, in the city of Elkhart. Okay, and I have watched the traffic flow go from hardly any traffic and very easy to get in and out of the facility to you can't get in and out of it at all. Over that time span, when we first moved from 2nd Street to where we are now on Jackson Street, that was in 1964. Jackson Street was a 2-lane road. Easy to get in, easy to get out. So as more businesses and more things come into that area, it increases traffic flow. City hasn't done a whole lot to worry about traffic flow. And it's basically shut the business down. I don't need another business shut down because people can't get in and out of business. And I am asking the board to please deny this. It's not allowed in the current zoning. They've made correction, or they've added the Dollar General store. They've added the gas station. Now this. What else is going to come in along Franklin Street? Then is Franklin Street going to get widened to 4 or 6 lanes and put Elkhart Cremation out of business and force me to move to Bristol, to Osceola, to move out of Elkhart? I don't want to do that. I'm an Elkhart native. I was born here. I was raised here. I've lived here all my life. I put 52 years of service into funeral care to service the families in this town. And I don't want to lose that. But if we get put out of business, and that very well could happen. I'm not saying it will, and I can't read into the future what might happen. But as I mentioned earlier, there are a lot of elderly people driving their cars to try to turn into the park and try to get out of the parking lot. And at certain times of day, it's pretty fierce. It's not near as fierce as Jackson Boulevard, but it is pretty fierce. And more businesses along that district is just going to increase that traffic flow. And I'm asking you to please deny the petition to do that. It sits right across the street from those 3 properties. Thank you for your consideration.
Mr. Zimmerman, could you come up here and share where you are on this? So this is where the business is going to be located.
This is Edith Street. This is Waurika Street here. Elkhart Cremation sits right here at 2100. These 2 parcels here. This is 2110, which is Fort Tony's restaurant. And we've got 4,000 parking lot. This is 2120, which used to be the former Lucky You resale shop. I own that. Then this sets the veterinarian clinic. Here at the veterinarian clinic here is Waurika Street. This is an alley behind the property. It's a city alley. So over here sets the strip.
Right. Okay. Can people,
We have to have them answer in the.
oh, I'm sorry.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Okay. Can people not go on the side streets to get to you?
You can turn off of Franklin Street onto Okima Street here, or you can turn on to Waurika Street, but you still got to turn across traffic and then you still got to get out. So it's, do you get out of our driveway here or do you go to these side streets? This is a public city alley here, and it dead ends here in my parking lot and dead ends at Waurika Street. There is no city alley behind this here going over to Okima Street.
But there are other ways to get to you besides going on Franklin.
Yeah, you can come down Indiana Avenue if you want, and you can come up that way, but this business sets right on Franklin Street. And I am very, very concerned about the traffic. The building sits right here on the corner of West Franklin Street and Okima Street.
Okay.
Right. Very good.
Any other questions?
Actually, I do if you want to. So since you have several properties right there, do you have any plans to add anything in eventually, or do you think you'll sell it as a?
Depends on what happens with the traffic, what happens with the flow there.
Okay,
We added on to the funeral home 3 different times, added on to our parking, added to the building, and put a lot of capital expense into that. And the business is not doing well because people can't get in and out of the facility.
okay.
All right.
Elkhart Cremation was founded there in that building in 2000. Okay, we've been there 26 years. I've put additions onto that building. I've upgraded the parking lot. I have a lot of money in equipment at that location. It's not cheap to furnish a crematory.
Okay.
Cremation chamber will cost you $150,000 just to buy it. And we have 3 of them running there.
Okay.
I don't want to move. I don't want to do that. I want to stay in the city of Elkhart because, as I mentioned earlier, I'm an Elkhart native. I've been here all my life. I put 52 years of funeral care into this community. But if I have to move it, you have to move it. You got to do what you got to do. There are other towns that have asked me to come into their town, and I'm not saying that as a threat. It's not a threat at all. It's just what has been offered to me to welcome me into another town. But I don't want to move. I don't want to leave Elkhart. I just don't want to do that. But I'm asking that this get denied.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Before we close, can I ask a question? for you?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I'll have you stand up there and I'll just kind of point out. So from my understanding right now, this is Franklin Street and then this is going to be,
That's the current drive that we already have for the
Okay.
office warehouse.
okay.
And we're expecting in the neighborhood of 100, 150 cars a day.
That's.
And a lot of that traffic's already on Franklin Street.
Sure.
I mean, we're not going to be pulling massive amounts of cars off of 19 to come. I mean, we hope to get some of that traffic to come in,
Okay,
but a lot of it's going to be traffic that's going by.
Yeah.
And there is a turn lane in there. I mean, it's set up for traffic.
okay.
But compare us to the gas station or
You-
compare us to some of the other businesses. it's
Do you
not.
know if your entrance and exit are right in front of what would be his entrance and exit?
From the street, the side street that he's on.
The side street. Your entrance and exit?
Across the road from us is a side street. If we went straight out of our
Thank you.
drive, we'd be on his side street.
Okay, that was
So
my
that would
question.
be like a T, like an intersection.
Okay,
All right. Very good.
you know.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
sorry
you.
he's had all these problems with his drives at his other place, but
Yeah.
that's what it is. Thank you.
Okay.
okay.
Staff?
The petitioner is requesting a use variance to allow the property at 2101 West Franklin Street to allow for the construction of a drive-through coffee shop. Section 19.2 permitted uses in the M2 General Manufacturing District does not allow drive-through coffee shops. The property currently contains a 1,400 square foot building built in 2017 used for cold storage and warehouse purposes. There is an interest from the owner in constructing a second structure on the property for a drive-through coffee shop. The property is located along West Franklin and is near South Napanee Street intersection. The site being located on the south side of the street adjoining to the railroad. This type of automobile-related use should capture morning commuting traffic. The existing use along West Franklin are a mix of light manufacturing, commercial, and residential uses serving as a gateway into the city. This section of Franklin has historically had manufacturing zone mixed with a variety of residential and commercial uses for almost 70 years. Since the 1950s, this area has had a mix of industrial, commercial, and residential uses. Because of its adjourning to the railroad, the uses tended to be more intense along the south side of Franklin and have become less intense the further away one moves to the north from Franklin. Over time, the manufacturing and commercial uses have diminished, with smaller industrial developments moving to the newer industrial areas, often adjourning major thoroughfares and clustering with similar uses in other parts of the city. Based on materials submitted for this case, the building will be 25 by 40 and will use the existing driveway for in and out traffic onto West Franklin, with higher levels of activity during the morning and evening hours. It is important for the board to understand that this project has not been submitted for technical review to ensure compliance with developmental standards for the Public Works Department, Fire Department, and the Planning Department. This request is only for the use. It is anticipated and expected that the petitioner will submit for review and approval and approved civil engineering drawings to be formally reviewed by city staff. It cannot be guaranteed that the layout as depicted on the plan for this case will remain unchanged. Staff supports the request for the use only. Staff recommends approval of the use variance based on the following findings of fact. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because the building will be built per all applicable building codes. Number 2, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because many of the surrounding uses on this part of West Franklin corridor are commercial uses and are commercial structures. Number 3, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a small measure of relief when uniquely warranted. Number 4, special conditions and circumstances do exist which are particular to the land involved and which are not applicable to other lands or structures in the same district because without board action, this project on this parcel would not be permitted. Number 5, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will result in practical difficulty in the use of the property because developing a permitted M use could be challenging given that there is a existing use on the site. Number 6, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from action or inaction by the applicant as no additional action has been taken on the site. Number 7, this property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. Conditions. If the board chooses to approve the requested use variance, staff recommends that the following condition be placed upon the approval. Number 1, a complete set of civil engineering plans shall be submitted for review and approval at technical review to ensure compliance with developmental standards for public works and planning departments. There was 13 letters mailed out and 0 responses.
Okay. Questions for staff?
Yes. During the review for the planning departments, is traffic taken into consideration?
Yes, that's what engineering takes into consideration during the technical review process.
Okay, because that is my main concern for this too. So I just want to make sure that there's not a public safety issue with additional traffic.
And also, if they're lined up
Yeah,
the street, if cars are lined up waiting to get in, they'll be checking that out too.
Yes,
yeah. So we just essentially have to say if we approve the variance use, obviously, and then it still has to go through.
it has to go through
Bunch of
technical review. So, I mean, what you guys were given before tonight is the same thing that staff saw.
Is there a reason that it came to us first instead of all these other departments?
Because it's zoned heavy manufacturing.
Okay,
Before
Couldn't go
they were
forward.
gonna
okay,
Without us.
go through.
okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I know a lot of like semis and trucks go down that road and
Mhm.
stuff also too, so because of train. Okay,
Mhm.
that was my main question.
Any other questions? Okay, that sounds good. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve 26-UV-08 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentations together with the staff's finding of facts as the board's finding of facts in the present petition
And the condition.
with the condition.
Is that good? And the condition.
Maybe just state one more time the conditions.
Board's condition and adopt the following conditions. State as desired
As
conditions,
stated, yeah.
as stated.
Okay. A second? Do we have a second?
Oh, I will second because of the condition, yes.
Okay, all right, roll call?
Lightman,
Yes.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Evangelista Rakoff.
Yes.
And really quick, you were made aware of the condition, correct? Okay, okay. Just to clarify,
Yeah,
thank you.
okay,
Okay.
okay. All right, very good. You're welcome. Thank you. Let's see, our next one is 26 BZA 09.
The petitioner is CRB4 LLC. The site location is 4800 Briscola Court. The request is to vary from section 26.4.A.6 fence requirements, which states in part that no fence other than split rail, wrought iron, or open picket fence not to exceed 4 feet in height shall be permitted on any front yard or corner side yard to allow for a 7-foot chain link fence so that fence will be 6 feet tall with a 1 foot 3-strand barbless wire fence in the corner side yard, a variance of 3 feet.
Okay. Could we have the petitioner come up and tell us what you want to do?
Hello, this is my first time up here. I'm Paul. I want to address the board and thanks for taking this petition.
Sure.
And I am Paul Maycumber. I am the representative for Ryan Brady. there's 50% owner, but the listed property owner of this Alara boat manufacturing that's going in off of County Road 15 and County Road 4. I am also the owner of Patriot Fence LLC, which is, I am a vendor for the city of Elkhart. And I'm also a current American Fencing Association member and try to stick with all the ASTM regulations. So, and I do a lot of work at the Elkhart Airport right now. So, so what we've addressed is the original the original job site was approved. I guess they got a building approval. The GC on site is Jay Wagner. They're doing the building. Since I've been doing a lot of work around the city of Elkhart, I've done stuff for Alliance RV, which the Brady's also own. They direct hired me. And at first I thought it was county, but it's recently annexed by the city of Elkhart. So when I went to do a property locate on it, it pulled up county addresses, and then 4800 Briscola Court. This was initial phases of this job. So county's a little bit less ordinanced, but anyway, yeah. Anyways, in this, I've actually, upon finding out this was a city, because I actually contacted the city, and we want to, what is it, the repertoire with the city. We want to be correct, you know, with your ordinances. I've had to deal with your the Elkhart beautification process, like at Voyant and stuff, where the fence was rusty and stuff, help rejuvenate that area. And what I believe this ordinance, there's a safety factor with it. So we're looking at 6 foot. It's a boat manufacturer. The south or the north side of the building is the back part of the lot. The main offices are out the south side, pointing towards County Road 4. There's a very large retention pond on the north side, and also there's a county park. The park property is directly north of that retention pond. And trying to stay with the, there is an ordinance about retention ponds that it should have a minimum of 6 foot fence around it. This retention pond actually hyper extends past the sides of the building out towards County Road 15. And
4
east, yeah, towards 17. So it goes towards 17 and 15, extends out past the sides of the building. The plan for the fence, I believe you have the drawings of it. It actually comes off the north side of the building, extending out the sides, which was the 6 foot, and goes north to entrap the retention pond, and then it goes across the north side of it. And there's a manual entrance gate off of County Road 4, which was a construction entrance. And if there's probably construction vehicles ever, they will use that so they don't go down the main Briscola Court that looks like it's going to be developed really nice. And so it's a back entrance, but I don't believe that entrance will be utilized except for temporary. And so trying to maintain the safety through the retention pond, because I believe it's a fairly deep retention pond, plus possible visitors to the north in the park. A 4 foot fence, a 4 foot fence, there's people out there trying to fish. There's kids trying to do stuff. We want to make a proper boundary, security boundary between public and the private matters of the business. That north side of the property, being pontoons, they'll be driving manufacturing equipment in and out, parking them out in the parking lot. Plus the semis come in on the east side of the building. There will be 2 semi access or employee and large vehicle access to come through. And then on the south side, it would be another open gate for, I believe, semis and stuff to exit. The extra 1 foot of barbless wire, we are well aware of the city's newer ordinance of barbless wire. Now, any requiring sharp 7 foot or higher. So that means 7 foot fence with barbed wire at 8 foot, not to exceed the 8 foot maximum for manufacturing districts. To the structure of the fence is 2-inch posts, steel galvanized posts with galvanized chain link, which is galvanized before weaving, which is a bright finish. The galvanizing is standard manufacturing at 25 years bright. And I suggest top rail on chain link fence. If you've gone around these facilities with the tension wire on top, now that is a fine preventative, but it sags and it doesn't look good after a while. It stretches and stuff like that. The top rail usually maintains a nice uniform top, which adds to aesthetics of the fence. But with the barbless wire comes out, it creates a climb preventative. So it keeps people from trying to post and jump over the fence if they were, just for a safety matter. It's not that it's going to happen, but if it does happen, you would want to be preventative on the more safety, because aluminum structures post, you know, their sharpness and whoever gets in there. It's not the 98% we always try to protect against. It's the 2% of society that pushes the boundaries. So we're trying to create a positive boundary for the manufacturing side of this building and the public from entering this or unauthorized people into this area to keep them safe. And I do want to give a quick note. Kyle and Rain have been absolutely helpful. I mean, anything I needed, they have contacted me, let me know, because I mean, I put a lot of miles going to and from the office and phone calls and response time and stuff like that. But I've got a couple more that I've got for next month. But again, we want to stay in good standards with the city of Elkhart and make things better, because that's what we're here to do.
Well, thank you. That's
Right.
really good to know. We think he's pretty good too. All right.
Yeah.
Are there any questions?
Sorry. Question. I need for you to really explain that barbed wire part to me. So you have the fence.
Okay,
Is it barless or what? Or is it spiked?
Yeah, so we're running 6. Okay, so the city of Elkhart adopted no sharps below 7 foot, and I know it's retail, and some areas don't even allow it.
Okay.
So, but like in retail, you're not allowed sharps at all, like where North End Cycle is. And I actually talked to Mr. Petter about that originally, and we just made things work. And I've been putting fence up for North End Cycle and stuff since Bud owned it back in the day.
But what is it?
But the barbed wire, a lot of Elkhart fence around here, Park City RV, everybody, 6 foot with barbed wire. And I know you guys are trying to get away from it to keep injuries low, stuff like that. So 6 foot fence is the minimum requirement for the retention pond. The foot extra is barbless wire. So all it is a tension wire. No, it's a 3 straight strungs, and they tip out a little bit towards the outside of the fence.
Oh,
So that gives you a, you know, sort of that's the climb preventative.
Okay, I see the.
So, and
Next time include a picture when you're here next month. For
okay.
this. Yeah.
Okay, I will. So
Product
basically,
picture would be lovely.
yeah, I'll do that. And honestly, if you ever have any questions about fence stuff, I noticed you've had a few of them already. I mean, if they ever want any ASTM stuff or any certain things, you know, your screening, you guys can call me. So
Yeah.
I just want to let you know, but I'm more than happy to help out that way. But
Sure.
I just want to be right. It's a way to appease both
Sure.
standards and stuff, but to drop it at 4 foot, I mean, we'd have to run it around a pond and stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Okay,
Any other questions?
no other questions.
Okay, all right, very good. You can
All right.
sit down. It doesn't look like we've got anyone left in the audience, but just for the minutes. Well, yes, we did see you, but we assume you're for the last one here. Anyone wants to speak for or against? Okay, staff?
The petitioner is seeking to vary from section 26.4.A.6 fence requirements, which states in part that no fence other than split rail, wrought iron, or open picket not to exceed 4 feet in height shall be permitted on any front yard or corner side yard to allow for a 7-foot chain link fence, 6-foot fence, and 1 foot of 3-string barbless wire fence in the corner side yard, a variance of 3 feet. The petitioner is in the process of building a new 192,000 square foot manufacturing facility in the new industrial development north of County Road 4, Sanford School Road, and east of County Road 15. The facility will build boats for the marina industry and is proposed to have some inventory in the rear northwest portion of their campus. The project went through technical review in 2025 and was approved. Plans called for an eventual addition to the current building under construction that would likely block the storage area from the south and partially from the west. Plans also call for a buffered mound to be placed east of County Road 15 with landscaping to buffer the outside storage. The tallest portion of the mound will be approximately 6 feet tall in height, directly west of the storage area, and should obstruct the proposed fence and the inventory stored in the rear part of the campus. Okay. Recommendation. Staff recommends approval of the developmental variance based on the following finding of facts. The approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because the fence will be built and installed in a workmanlike manner. Number 2, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because the fence is a typical element found in industrial districts. The fence's location should not be affecting the use and value of the adjoining properties. Number 3, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a measure of relief is allowed when warranted. Additionally, only a portion of the fence requires the filing of the developmental variance. Number 4, special conditions and circumstances do exist as the proposed fence is to be installed on the subject property in the corner side yard. Number 5, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property because the proposed fence provides for some measure of security and would otherwise greatly limit the amount of outdoor storage for finished products without the fence. Number 6, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from an action or inaction by the applicant as the fence has not been installed. And number 7, the property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. There was 8 letters mailed and no responses from that. And we received 1 phone call not in favor with no comment.
Okay. Questions for staff?
Yeah, I have a question, just to confirm. In your staff analysis, you say plans also call for a buffer mound to be placed east of County Road 15. I assume that is part of the original zoning application?
Yes.
And that's already been approved through all the
Yes.
technical reviews? Okay. Okay, that was the only question I had.
Okay, good.
Okay. Do we have a motion?
I move to approve 26-BZA-09 and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentations together with the staff's finding of facts as the board's finding of facts in the present petition.
I second.
Lightman,
Yes.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
Yes.
Devanja Rickoff.
Yes. All right, you're all set. You
Thank you.
bet. All right. 26 BZA 11.
Okay. Okay. The petitioner is,
Ignacio?
thank you, Ignatius Perez. The site location is 431 Middlebury Street. The request is to vary from section 8.5 yard requirements to allow for a property with a established lot size of 3,040 square feet and a lot frontage of 38 feet. Variance to be used as a two-family dwelling. The minimum lot size for a two-family dwelling is 7,200 square feet and a lot frontage of 60 feet. A variance of 4,160 square feet for the lot area and 22 feet for the lot frontage. To vary from section 8.5 yard requirements in the R5 urban residential district. To allow for a 5-foot side yard setback where 7 feet are required, a variance of 2 feet. To vary from section 8.5 yard requirements for the corner side yard average established setback of 13 feet to allow for the construction of a two-family dwelling at a corner side yard setback of 7 feet, a variance of 6 feet. To vary from section 8.5 yard requirement rear yard to allow for a 13-foot rear setback where 30 feet is required, a variance of 17 feet. To vary from section 26.7.d, schedule of off-street parking space requirements to allow for 0 off-street parking spaces where 4 off-street parking spaces are required, a variance of 4 off-street parking spaces.
Okay. Petitioner, if you would like to come up and tell us what you'd like to do.
Good evening, board. My name is Jeremy Perez. I am here in representation of Ignacio Perez, which he couldn't be here because of work. We are looking to build a single-story duplex where the back end would be a 2-bedroom, 1 bath, the front being a 1-bedroom, 1 bath. We're looking to build it at a 24-foot wide, which if plus a 52-foot long building. We're wanting to stay away from doing a 2-story. It's just a lot harder on the workers, and there's a little bit less. There's more safety risks when they're doing a 2-story. We are looking to do street parking. There is street parking availability on our side of the street, on the would be the east side of Monroe, and as well as on the west side of Monroe. We're aware that there is a fire hydrant on the front of the property on Middlebury Street, which is why we're asking for the parking spaces to be in the rear. We did notice that before 2019 on Monroe Street, there was a smaller yellow stripe on the corner of Monroe and Middlebury Street, and it has gotten extended. So it's about 44 feet of the actual property that have been taken up from the yellow stripe itself. So we do have about 44 feet outside of the yellow stripe for parking. So, and as well as on the west side of Monroe. So we are looking to, like I said, we're looking to do the single family duplex, or single story duplex, having the main entrance of the main units being of Middlebury Street, and then having a rear entrance for the rear duplex. We have, so one of the reasons why we're going off of the setback on the side yard on the west side of the property, the building, the house behind it has an extra lot that is on the rear of the house, which allowed them to push the house further back. And with corner lots having to require a setback of its adjacent houses, our required setback would be a lot further than what we're asking for.
Okay. Questions?
Yes, questions. These numbers aren't working. Why are you not afraid of making it a 2-story
Yeah.
to get away
Yeah.
from all of these requirements that are way over what we're normally looking at?
Yeah, so
breakdown, because you said safety reasons.
That doesn't fly.
That don't fly. I'm trying to understand what you.
Mhm.
trying to get
So one, we're looking to try to get it. So we're the owners of the property. We're wanting to do a lot of the structure work ourselves. Through being able to do that, of course, we're going to have plans and everything. If we were to go to a 2-story, we would, of course, have to have a little bit more workers to be able to help with that. Plus, on top of that, we would have to set a lot more safety measures. We would have to use bigger cranes to get the framings up, which, with it being close to the property beside us, we don't want to risk anything there. As well as there are kids next door to us, so we want to try to work as quick as possible without having that building be open for too long, especially with there's a lot of kids walking through there.
Have you, I'm sorry to interrupt, but have you, obviously it's going to be more expensive per square foot if you build it 2 stories as opposed to 1 story. Have you looked at, can you make money on this if you do a 2-story unit as opposed to 1 story?
Yeah. I mean, it'll be, so we would be able to. It would be, we're trying to do it so it's below market rate rent. So we're trying to make it as economical as possible so that we can have community members who can't pay as much rent as the market rate is now.
Right.
Is that my long-term safety too? I'm thinking about cars parked on the streets, around the corner, that type of thing. But if you could do a 2-story, have a driveway, garage, something, I don't know what the parameters are for that, but I'm just saying, like.
So if we were to do a parking lot, it would be on the driveway on the rear end of the lot. There is a huge difference of elevations, about 2 feet, and there is a big concrete barrier back there as well. And then the sewer lines run pretty close to where that concrete barrier is. In order to have 4 vehicles, we would be pretty much using we'd be using it about 18 feet of the backyard, which would have to take up where that concrete barrier is at now.
Have you ever built a two-story?
We have not, no.
So you built a building similar to this before?
Single story, yes, we have.
Duplex?
A duplex, no, but I've been in real estate, been doing real estate since 2013, and I've been fixing and flipping houses as well as renting houses here in Elkhart, and we've renovated houses, completely gutted them out, and kind of have an idea of what it would look like to do a side-by-side duplex. It'd just be two regular size single family homes side by side. I do know that there is different regulations of that middle partition wall. So those would be considered into plans, and those would have to get approved before we start building.
And just a single family home? Have you ran through that option also to stay in?
We have, yes. So if for any reason we weren't allowed to do the duplex, we decided we were going to decide to revise plans and create it into a single family, and then just go ahead and either sell it or rent it out. But
So you would consider doing a two-story?
Well, no.
no,
That's what I'm.
not a two-story. Yeah.
Okay, you won't.
Have you guys are
Yes,
so far apart on this.
Yeah.
Have you
Yeah.
talked to each other about
The
this?
big difference.
Yes, we've worked through it and we've talked about it, and it wasn't until yesterday that we met up, and he was like, "Hey, by the way, this is what's going on. Just letting you know." And I figured, why not give it a chance?
Figured you'd give it a shot. And,
Why not?
And see.
How do you feel about the conditions that were placed on it?
Yeah, I feel good about it. I mean, if we have to, I would ask if we can
Or
get.
actually, sorry, not the conditions, but the
Recommendation.
recommendations. The parts are approved and parts are the city.
Well, that's kind of what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
If they'll build a single story
They have to.
if they have to.
Yeah, correct. Like I said,
Okay.
it is something that we're wanting to do. I do have other properties in the area. Actually, I have one on Aspenwald that it's a lot bigger lot. But we wanted to start with that one first because that one on Aspenwald has a very huge elevation, and where we would put parking at, we are trying to figure out how to work on the drainage so it doesn't flood every time it rains.
That would be good.
So, yes.
Okay.
So,
All right. I wish you guys could have,
I know.
because this is going to take forever to read through,
yes,
and it's already 8:10.
yes.
I'm trying to think how we can get it out of that, but I guess there's really no way. No.
So yeah, I'm looking to see if we can get in. I know there's a condition of getting revised plans, so I'm looking to see if I can get an extension on that. I don't know, like 30
I
to
don't
60
think we need
days.
to do that. If we go along with what the staff recommends, I don't think we'd have to give you an extension. I think you would just
Okay.
probably have to file it. Well, if you did a single story, there wouldn't be any kind of, there may not be, except for the parking.
Yeah, I guess it would be the parking, and I think still the width of the actual building.
Well, depending on how your plans worked, yeah.
Well, because believe there's a minimum of a 24-foot wide building, and with it being only 38 feet wide, the setbacks still are.
The side setbacks aren't what we're so worried about,
Correct.
though. It's setbacks,
Yes.
setback. Okay, well, we do have to go through all of this then, it sounds like. So we should
I
probably,
don't know. I'm just here.
we should probably start reading pretty quick.
Yes.
So I'll let staff come up. No, I've got to go through all this. So Thank you.
Mhm.
And I don't, do we have anyone for? Do we have anyone against? Okay, now let's go to the staff reading. Oh, boy. Do you want a glass of water first?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay. The petitioner is requesting to vary from section 8.5 yard requirements to allow for a property with an established lot size of 3,040 square feet and a lot frontage of 38 feet variance to be used as a two-family dwelling. The minimum lot size for a two-family dwelling is 7,200 square feet and a lot frontage of 60 feet, a variance of 4,160 square feet for the lot area and 22 feet for the lot frontage. To vary from section 8.5 yard requirements in the R5 urban residential district to allow for a 5-foot side yard setback where 7 feet are required, a variance of 2 feet. To vary from section 8.5 yard requirements for the corner side yard, average established setback of 13 feet to allow for the construction of the two-family at the corner side yard setback of 7, a variance of 6. To vary from section 8.5 yard requirement rear yard to allow for a 13-foot rear yard setback where 30 feet is required, a variance of 17 feet. To vary from section 26.7.d schedule of off-street parking space requirements to allow for 0 off-street parking spaces where 4 off-street parking spaces are required, a variance of 4 off-street parking spaces. The petitioner is proposing to build a new one-story, two-family dwelling on a infill parcel at 431 Middlebury Street. Due to the size of the parcel, the proposed house requires a number of developmental variances to address the current zoning standards. This type of variance is not uncommon for parcels in established neighborhoods where new infill housing are placed on parcels that do not meet the current development standards. The scale of the house is not out of character for the neighborhood and may in fact be desirable in terms of property value. Given the constraints of the established setbacks on the corner side yard, it would not allow a house of this scale to be built without some measure of relief. Due to the high cost of land development and new structures like the one in this request are being developed where the necessary infrastructure exists. It is then more cost effective to construct. Therefore, those development costs do not have to be passed along to the tenants in the form of higher rent. This request adds to the inventory of housing in Elkhart. Proposals like this are becoming more common in the area that have seen disinvestment over the years and where the need for new and diverse housing options are needed. Staff are supportive of the side yard and corner side yard setbacks. Because of the size of the parcel, these variances are reasonable. Most new construction infill will require variances. Therefore, with most new infill proposals, staff would anticipate similar variance requests. This proposal reflects a development pattern seen in other parts of the city that integrate a variety of levels of density within a neighborhood. Staff are supportive of this infill project. However, the proposal for a two-family dwelling may be too intense for the site. The fact that there is no space for off-street parking is of great concern for staff. For this specific project, it is the opinion of staff that a revised one-family structure be proposed for this infill site. Something that reflects a similar footprint to the buildings footprint to the houses to the west of this site. Staff struggled with the request for reducing parking. We do not want to discourage walkability within a neighborhood and encourage other transportation options. However, some off-street parking is necessary. It is important for the petitioner to provide off-street parking. Staff are aware that some of the neighborhoods surrounding downtown are higher density and some residents may not own cars. The Elkhart East bus line has a bus stop and a route within walking distance of the project. The city of Elkhart is in the process of updating its zoning ordinance, including new residential development standards. The requested setbacks are consistent with the proposed regulations found in the anticipated UDO. This request to the board would only include relief from parking and lot size requirements if under the new UDO. In continuing conversations with the petitioner after filing and by reworking the site plan, the side yard setback request was eliminated by moving the house over 2 feet. Because of the multiple development variances and the complexity of the request, staff has broken out the request into grouped similar development motions. Staff recommends approval of the developmental variances for the corner side yard setback and the lot frontage and area based on the following findings of fact. Number one, the approval will not be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because the building will be built per all applicable building codes. Number two, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial adverse manner because the proposed structure will have similar setbacks in both the front and side yards to nearby properties. Number three, granting the variance would be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because a small measure of relief when uniquely warranted. Number four, special conditions and circumstances do exist that are particular to the land involved, which are not applicable to other land or structures in the same district because the size of the parcel makes redevelopment that makes current development standards challenging. Number five, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will result in practical difficulty in the use of the property because the current development standards limit the scale of the structure that could be developed on this parcel. Number six, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from action or inaction by the applicant because no construction has begun. Number seven, the property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. So do you want me to read them all and then vote, or do you want?
Why don't you read them all and then we'll take 2 votes?
Okay. The next request. The staff recommends denial of the developmental variance requesting no off-street parking based on the following findings of fact. Number one, the approval will be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because off-street parking is possible with a site plan depicting a smaller structural footprint. Number two, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will not be affected in a substantial manner because a structure with a smaller footprint will have a similar setback to nearby properties. Number three, granting the variance would not be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because there is the potential for off-street parking if a smaller structure were permitted. Number four, special conditions and circumstances do not exist that are pertinent to the land involved and which are not applicable to other land or structures in the district because at least one space could be achieved on the site. Number five, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will not result in practical difficulty in the use of the property because a structure with a smaller footprint could be constructed to accommodate some room for off-street parking. Number six, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from action or inaction by the applicant because no construction has begun. Number seven, this property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. The next request. Staff recommends denial of the developmental variance for reduced rear yard setbacks based on the following findings of fact. The approval will be injurious to the public health, safety, morals, or general welfare of the community because a smaller structure with a smaller footprint could be achieved on this parcel. Number two, the use and value of the area adjoining to the property will be affected in a substantial adverse manner because the proposed structure with a revised site plan depicting a smaller footprint would be in line with other properties in the neighborhood. Number three, granting the variance would not be consistent with the intent and purpose of this ordinance because there is the potential for a smaller structure that could be achieved on this parcel. Number four, special conditions and circumstances are not to this
Hold on.
land.
Do not exist.
That are perpendicular,
Yeah.
peculiar to.
Yeah, thank you.
There you go.
That are not particular to the land involved and which are not applicable to other land or structures in the district because a structure with a smaller footprint could be achieved on the site. Number five, the strict application of the terms of this ordinance will not result in practical difficulty in the use of the property because a structure with a smaller footprint could be constructed on this parcel. Number six, the special conditions and circumstances do not result from an action or inaction by the applicant because no construction has started. Number seven, this property does not lie within a designated flood hazard area. If the board chooses to approve the requested developmental variances, staff recommends the following condition to be placed. A revised site plan be submitted that meets the rear yard setbacks and off-street parking requirements. There was 41 letters mailed out, one response in favor with no response.
No comments.
Yeah, no comment.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Any questions? Okay, I've got a question for Kevin. Kevin, this is going to be tricky. Do we split this up into two, even though it is?
You need to split them up. You need to, because of this, there's two
Two
approvals.
recommendations?
Right. It's the easiest way to do is just to split them.
That'll be so much easier.
Yeah,
for
that way there's
us
as an individual record for each of the recommendations.
Okay.
What I was thinking.
Okay, all right.
The condition, just I think too, the condition, would that be placed on which?
both?
Yeah, on what?
I think the condition would be on both because we are following the staff's recommendation in both cases. And so I imagine that we'd have to put the condition on both of these, the approval and the denial. Yeah,
Yeah, because
Just to be safe, we'll do it on both.
yeah,
Okay.
can't hurt. I don't think it can hurt. Okay. Okay,
Okay, I'll take a shot at it.
okay. So just one.
Yes, just one. So I move to approve 26 BZA 11. Hold on, let me find it. And approve the developmental variances for the corner side setback and lot frontage area based on the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of fact in the present petition.
Okay, hold on.
And adopt the conditions listed.
How are we showing that we're just?
I read the part where it
Staff
is.
of developmental variant corner side setback and lot
Yeah,
frontage.
that's what I read.
Okay, all right.
Did I do that correct? Eric, are you there?
I don't know that.
It's
Eric's
okay.
there. I think he's gone.
Did that sound?
Yes,
Oh.
that is correct. I'm trying. Sorry.
There.
Yeah, you did
Hey.
the first motion correctly.
Okay, so then we
Great.
just need a second on that?
Second?
Yes.
Yeah.
Second. Okay. Roll call.
Lightman,
Yes.
Lindley,
Yes.
Newbill,
No.
What was that?
Avanja Rickoff.
Yes. Okay,
Okay, and then
and then the second one.
hold on, I think that was.
Oh, there's two. Now, do we need to break these up? No, wait. Do we need to break these up? There's two denials. Do we need to break them up into two, or can we do them in one?
I was waiting for Eric to chime in.
I would, in my experience, as long as you express both requests in your motion, you could do it as one motion.
Great.
Okay, I concur. That would work because that way, because it's going to be a denial anyway. If you're gonna vote to deny it, then you just have to be clear that what you're denying with some specificity.
Okay,
That makes sense.
all right.
All right. No, that makes it clear.
Okay, so I am doing this one, correct?
Yes, no. We're in, let's see, is in favor.
It's a no vote.
We're in favor of staff. Staff is not in favor or has not provided a recommendation. And adopt the petitioners.
Do you know which one we're supposed to use?
We're not sure which one to read here.
I believe it's this one, but. I'm going to read it to Eric. Eric, am I to use if staff is not in favor of the petition, I move to deny?
Hold on. It needs to be a positive motion.
So you can't vote to deny it. What you do if you're going to deny something, you get a vote to approve it. No one votes to approve it, but then on the counter, then you have the vote against it, and then you can vote against it. That makes it a denial. So the motion needs to be a positive motion.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So you have a positive motion. I vote to approve whatever the petitioners asked for. If you get a second, then you can call for the vote. All those in favor can vote aye. Those who are opposed can vote nay.
Okay.
And then that way you have a positive motion. And if you vote to go with the staff's recommendation, you just vote against it.
Okay. Why don't you read it, and then I'll make sure that everyone understands what they're voting.
Okay, so I move to approve 26 BZA 11 and adopt the petitioner's documentation and present.
Wait, you need to be specific.
Yes. So I move to approve 26 BZA 11 of the developmental variance requesting no off-street parking and for a reduced rear yard setback.
Yes.
Okay, and adopt the petitioner's documents and presentation together with the staff's finding of fact as the board's finding of fact in the present petition, and adopt all conditions.
So what this means is that if you vote for that, then you're saying, yep, they can go and they can build it as it's stated here. If you don't second it, then we won't, that is a negative. Is that right? No?
If you don't second it, then it doesn't come for a vote. To get it off the agenda and to be discussed, you need to have a motion and a second.
Okay.
Once you hit the second, then you can take it for a vote.
Okay.
Thank you.
And so we will need a second.
Yes.
And then what we're voting on, if you vote yes, then you're saying, yep, they can go and build this just as it is. If you say no, then we're voting against that.
Okay.
All right.
Second first.
Okay. All right. Roll call.
Okay. Lightman,
No.
Lindley,
No.
Newbill,
No.
Avanja Rickoff.
No.
It was worth a try.
I'm sorry, Mr. Perez, but you need to go back to the drawing board. Yes.
Sorry to keep you guys out here waiting.
It's a
Well,
learning experience every time we do this for everybody. So it's not a waste of time in any way, shape, or form.
absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah,
Please.
and listen to these guys because
Yeah.
we listen to them.
That was
Like I said,
kind
we've
of
been working
complicated.
through it.
It was a lot of
It
stuff.
wasn't until yesterday, and so I was like, okay, so what now? He's like, well, you're getting approved for half of it, so.
Well, we're looking forward to seeing a cute little house on that corner as soon as you can work through it.
That you build and it's not a trailer.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Right. Thank you very much.